Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Reno Reigns coming at you live from Reno's World Podcast. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most notorious UFO cases ever, Travis Walton's alien abduction. We're breaking down every detail, from the eerie encounter in the Arizona woods to the mind-bending controversies that still spark heated debates. Stick around as we sift fact from fiction, and if you dig the ride, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. On November 5th, 1975, in the remote Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Heber, Arizona, Travis Walton, then a 22-year-old logger, was finishing a long day's work with his crew. According to his testimony, as the group drove home from a grueling day cutting timber near Turkey Springs, they encountered an unusual phenomenon. Witnesses recall that the night sky was suddenly illuminated by an intense, otherworldly light. Walton and his 6 co-workers observed what appeared to be a disc-like object, a craft that some described as a golden or metallic saucer hovering in the darkening sky at about 30 meters above the ground. In the unfolding events, Walton claims that driven by a mix of curiosity and an inexplicable pull, he left the safety of the truck to approach the luminous object. As he neared, the craft seemed to react to his presence. A brilliant beam of light, almost like a concentrated bolt of energy, suddenly erupted from the underside of the craft. According to his account, this beam struck him forcefully, knocking him to the ground and plunging him into a state of blackness as he lost consciousness. What follows in Walton's narrative is a series of vivid, hypnotically recovered memories. He asserts that during the period he was unconscious, a time that would later be measured as 5 days, he was taken aboard the mysterious craft. His recollections, as recounted through later hypnosis sessions and interviews, describe an interior environment that defied conventional expectations. He speaks of awakening in what appeared to be a sterile, hospital-like chamber made entirely of metal. The room, he says, was cold, impersonal, and filled with a quiet, clinical hum that heightened his sense of terror. Inside this alien environment, Walton describes encountering beings unlike any he had seen before. He portrays a group of small, short creatures with smooth, pale, almost featureless faces, large, unblinking eyes, and a general appearance that has come to be known as grays. Their physical attributes, bald heads, tiny mouths, and slight, fragile bodies, contrast sharply with those of the humans he was familiar with. Amid these beings, Walton also recalls the presence of a taller, more imposing figure, one that bore an unmistakably human silhouette, complete with a helmet and a more robust frame. This figure, according to Walton, played a pivotal role in his experience. As he struggled against the restraints, this taller being intervened by ushering him into another chamber. In that room, details of the encounter become increasingly harrowing. Walton's testimony includes a series of excruciatingly detailed recollections of the examinations he underwent. He speaks of being forcibly restrained on a platform in a clinical chamber, stripped of his clothing, and subjected to what he describes as a torturous medical procedure. He remembers a moment when a clear plastic mask was placed over his face, rendering him nearly helpless. He also recalls a particularly disturbing scene where a slender, needle-like probe was advanced toward his eye, a moment that has haunted him since. His account emphasizes the intense physical pain and psychological terror he experienced, and he claims that every detail is imprinted in his memory. When Walton finally returned to Earth, he reappeared disoriented and traumatized on the side of a highway near Heber, Arizona. His sudden reemergence after a 5-day disappearance sent shockwaves through the community and ignited a massive search effort. His co-workers, who had initially fled in panic and later underwent lie detector tests, provided corroborative testimony regarding the strange light and the disappearance. Despite the chaos that ensued, a police investigation, a town gripped by fear, and even accusations of murder against his companions, Walton's reappearance was the only tangible evidence of the bizarre incident. Walton later documented his account in his book, The Walton Experience, later republished as Fire in the Sky, and his story was dramatized in the 1993 film Fire in the Sky. His detailed narrative, replete with descriptions of alien beings, unearthly technology, and the disorienting lapse in time, has remained a cornerstone of UFO lore. Critical analysis, testing the evidence and exploring theories. In the final analysis, the Travis Walton case has been scrutinized by skeptics, ufologists, and investigative journalists for decades. Every piece of testimony, every polygraph result, and every hypnotically recovered memory has been met with both fervent belief and pointed criticism. While the first part of Walton's account is a meticulous, almost cinematic description of an alleged extraterrestrial encounter, several elements invite rigorous questioning. One central theory posits that Walton's testimony was not born out of a genuine extraterrestrial encounter, but was instead influenced by the cultural milieu of the 1970s. At that time, television programs such as NBC's The UFO Incident had captivated the public's imagination with tales of alien abductions, most notably the Betty and Barney Hill case. Critics argue that Walton's narrative, coming only weeks after such a broadcast, might have been subconsciously modeled on those televised stories. Cognitive psychologist Susan Clancy, for instance, has suggested that such media exposure can implant false memories or inspire individuals to fabricate elaborate stories that mirror popular culture. Furthermore, the circumstances surrounding the incident have raised several red flags. Walton's co-workers were known to be longtime enthusiasts of UFO phenomena, a detail that both adds intrigue and casts doubt. Skeptics point to financial incentives as a possible motive. Some have argued that the timing of the disappearance conveniently coincided with looming penalties on an overdue logging contract, hinting at a potential ploy to escape contractual obligations. Polygraph tests administered to the crew have yielded inconsistent results. While some tests supported their claims, other examinations, such as those reported by experienced examiners, suggested that Walton may have employed countermeasures like breath holding to manipulate the results. The reliability of polygraph tests, already widely disputed in the scientific community, further muddies the waters. Critics also scrutinize the physical evidence, or the notable absence thereof. Despite an intensive search operation using helicopters and police dogs, no tangible remnants of the alleged spacecraft were found. Additionally, while Walton recounts physical pain and visible marks from the encounter, independent medical examinations provided ambiguous results. Some witnesses have claimed that Travis's physical condition upon return did not match the level of trauma one would expect from an abduction from an absolving and advanced alien technology. The fact that his family and even his brother reportedly exhibited a lack of concern about his disappearance has been interpreted by some as an indicator that the event might not have been as extraordinary as claimed. The method by which Walton's memories were recovered also presents a significant challenge. Hypnosis, a technique often employed to unlock purported repressed memories, is widely criticized for its tendency to produce confabulations, false memories that the subject genuinely believes are real. If the details of his abduction were partly or wholly constructed under hypnosis, the reliability of his account becomes even more questionable. Then there is the evolution of his story over time. Early accounts and later interviews show discrepancies in details such as the dimensions of the UFO and the nature of the beings encountered. For instance, Walton's description of the craft's size has reportedly shifted from an initial estimate of 15 to 20 feet in diameter to later claims suggesting a saucer-like object as large as 40 feet wide. Such inconsistencies have led detractors to speculate that the story has been embellished over the years, possibly to generate more public interest and financial gain from books, interviews, and media appearances. In weighing these theories, one must also consider that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. While Walton's account is undeniably detailed and vivid, it largely rests on personal testimony, subject to memory errors, potential fabrication, and the inherent fallibility of hypnotically retrieved recollections. The lack of incontrovertible physical evidence and the conflicting nature of the polygraph results leave the case shrouded in ambiguity. Conclusion: truth or fabrication? After a thorough investigation into Travis Walton's testimony and the surrounding circumstances, the evidence presents a complex picture. On one hand, Walton's narrative is detailed and supported by the testimonies of his co-workers. On the other, multiple inconsistencies, potential external influences, and the controversial nature of memory recovery techniques seriously undermine the reliability of his account. Based on the cumulative evidence, considering both the compelling details Walton provides and the substantial counter-arguments presented by skeptics, the most balanced conclusion is that Travis Walton's testimony, as extraordinary as it is, remains unproven and is highly suspect. While it continues to capture the public's imagination and fuel debates in the realm of ufology, the preponderance of critical analysis suggests that the account is more likely a fabrication or misinterpretation of events, rather than a genuine extraterrestrial abduction. In short, the evidence does not definitively prove that Walton was abducted by aliens. Rather, it casts significant doubt on the veracity of his testimony. All right, folks. That's a wrap for today's mind-bending journey into Travis Walton's alien abduction mystery. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the facts and the theories. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more out-of-this-world content, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is Reno Rains signing off from Reno's World Podcast. Stay curious, stay questioning, and I'll catch you on the flip side.